user experience. So user experience, or also referred to as UX, is um, sort of what can generally just be seen as a kind of common sense approach to how a website should be structured, how it should be designed, and what you should be doing. Um, as I talked about, Google really cares a lot about the search experience. They don't want to have, let's say, someone who, they have a really awesome uh, website. They ranked really high for a search term. They show up at the top of Google. Google sends them a lot of traffic their way, and then all of a sudden they end up selling their site to some spammer, and then all of these people who go into this website end up getting their information tricked, and it becomes a terrible experience, which makes Google look bad. So give leads what they want. If the information that you provide on your site, if the links that you go ahead and have there, if the structure for that says one thing, just make sure that the content matches. It's really simple for when you're having a blog post or when you're having content that talks about something. Let's say, for example, you're talking about something that can be found in your area. Well, make sure you talk about that same content if that's what you have in the information that you provide in the title and in the website metadata and whatnot, which we'll go a little bit more into later. Effectively, just make sure that there's no gaps in the process between what you promise and what you deliver. Make it easy for them to get to what they want. So this is something in which you, again, if you're dealing with someone who's designing your website for you, you'll want to make sure that you're working hand in hand with them, or at the very least, making sure you pay attention to what they do. And if you're doing it on your own, you really should think about essentially not so much what you can do extra for it, but making sure you don't do too much. And what I mean by that is, you know, I've been to real estate websites, to agent websites, to broker websites where there's a lot of pop-ups, where it's really unclear as to how to find what I'm looking for, where they've tried to make it look so fancy or try to do too many details or moving pieces and gizmos, and it's just a mess, and it becomes confusing, it becomes frustrating, and frankly speaking, there's a lot of competition out there, and so you want to make that process as smooth and relaxing as possible. If at any point the person visiting your site can't find what they're looking for within a short period of time, there's a good chance that they're going to click away from that. And when they click away from that site, when they go ahead and just get on your site, then click away immediately, what that's referred to as a bounce. And Google looks at how many people bounce on your site, how many people just visit your site and don't really engage with it or don't really spend a lot of time with it. And they're going to say, all right, well, if they search for this thing and then they end up on your site and immediately leave, the site didn't have what they were looking for. Okay, we need to put that site farther down in terms of the rankings so that way we're not going to deliver the same experience for the next person searching. And similarly, this goes into removing distractions. Uh, one of a really unfortunate experience I had was in a call with an agent where we were talking about their site and talking about how to optimize their experience for not only the site but also advertisements and essentially how to deliver a better online experience. They had a really loud video playing in the background of their site, so I wasn't able to even concentrate on talking to them because the video would start and I didn't see the button for how to pause it. Um, Again, this is not a matter of things that you can or should do. It's just a matter of making sure you're not doing anything you shouldn't. Uh, don't try and do too much. Again, try and go for the simpler route when in doubt. And in general, just make sure you're not doing anything which can annoy or put off site visitors. It's going to cause them to leave or be dissuaded from continuing onto your site or digging deeper into your site. Because again, these are really significant factors when Google decides, okay, is this the kind of website that I'm going to show to people when they're looking for this content? Content and structure. So when you're talking about search engine optimization, we mentioned Google a lot. And the idea is humans first, search engine second. But them too, okay? The idea is that it should be a marriage between what's good for humans, the people who are looking for it, but also making sure it still plays along really well with what the search engines are looking for and making sure we can communicate that content in an effective way. So this may get a little more technical as this goes on. Again, I encourage everyone to ask as many questions as you like. In the event that you want a follow-up call after this, or that you want to talk in more detail as to, hey, what's this, or I'd like more information about that, or how do I know about this, feel free to leave your information. If you like, if you're an existing Chime customer, then one of our customer success managers can reach out to you and have a call with you. If you're new to Chime and you want to find out more information, that's okay too. Feel free to leave your phone number right there in the questions field. Again, no one else can see this but us, so it's absolutely private, and we'd love to talk to you more and help answer some questions. So going on to content and structure. Optimized metadata is really important. And the importance of that is making sure that when people are looking for something, Google knows what it is, so it can go ahead and send that back. Looking at this photo, for example, this is something that we'd call alt text. So it's text when you hover over the image, it'll show that text. Now, why it's important is because even though when you or I look at this photo, we look at it and say, oh, wow, that's a gorgeous bedroom. However, for Google, if they go ahead and read the alt text for this, they're going to think this is a photo of Britney Spears. Obviously, this is not ideal. Now, while this is a funny example, what we do see a lot of is instead of alt text, which is misleading, we see a lot of blank alt text. And if Google doesn't know what it is, then it's just not going to bother trying to bring it up when people search for it. And that's really important when Google's deciding, okay, is this website delivering a lot of good quality rich content that can help answer or respond to what the searcher is looking for? Over here, we can see metadata. And metadata is really important. Metadata is, again, information that you'll go ahead and put into your site's backend information, and that's what's going to show up when people search for your site. So when you see your site information come up on a Google search listing and you see the information below that, then you can go ahead and get a glimpse as to what metadata is provided. And it's important that you provide metadata that's descriptive, but also you want to try and hit some of the keywords that you're going for. Um, Again, I go back to the humans first, search engine second rule, because you don't want to just try and put in a bunch of keywords and just say, realtor in this area, go ahead and put in as many keywords as you can to try and search to make sure that when people search for them, your name pops up. Because when people see that, it's not really going to seem inviting. It's not going to seem like something that people want to go into. And Google pays attention to those things. So it's just important to remember that we want to make sure it's descriptive, informative, and as a secondary note, that we're also hitting those keywords that are important to rank for and that are important when people are looking for the content that you want to go ahead and show up for.